Hello everyone and welcome to the fifth podcast coming from the figuredrawingonline.com, a website dedicated to teach figure drawing for those who wish to learn it. It's a series of recorded tutorials that speaks about the figure drawing, the basics, the elements, how to make it work, how to get reasonably fast results. The class that's currently running is for beginners to intermediates, and we talk in these classes about anatomy, but keeping it to the minimal, just to get us started. And later on there will be an advanced class that will speak in detail about the muscles and their functions, so we can develop a language of symbols to create the bodies out of our mind, not having to rely on models, although models are fabulous for inspiration. In this podcast we will talk about the lower leg, and I'm just going to do a quick drawing of this body in profile. As we progress at the figuredrawingonline.com with the lectures, there's from time to time we do recap on what's happening in the other parts of the body than what the lecture is focusing on. Nevertheless, we don't do it much because the time is to be devoted to the new lecture. So here I'm just doing very basic massing with simple geometric shapes, just to get it started. Here, of course, we have the top of the pelvis, the front point of the pelvis. And from there on, we have the upper leg coming down. You might have watched the podcast on the upper leg. That's the second last one. The last one was on the knee. We're progressing down through the body. So here we have the knee protruding slightly, and then we arrive finally at the lower leg, which is the focus of this podcast. Usually in podcasts we don't have much time to spend on exact descriptions or too much tuition. That is really reserved for the lectures that you can get from the website. They're not expensive, $10 for a 90-minute lecture with all the supportive material. You'll get the photographs that we work off, and of course a lot more tuition. So essentially there's a few masses of muscles in the lower leg. Essentially there's two of them, and one is the anterior external and the other one is the posterior. Now anterior external is in the front and to the outside of the leg, which is just there, and the other one, the posterior, is in the back. Let me just sketch this in so then we can indicate a few bits and pieces. Okay, so there we have the pelvis, the upper leg coming down, and you may notice that I'm using quite a lot of Quantrill lines. There are these lines that run across the form and help us really describe the shape of the form. So right on this view of the body, just on the lateral side, which is the outside, we have a large muscle in the front, which is called Tibialis Anterior. It's protruding just a little bit there. Underneath that we have the tibia bone, and its front blade shows clearly under the skin. You can easily find it on your own leg, and it's a very good landmark. It's a very good clue. Now, right behind, just on the side there, I drew this line down here because there's a clear division. There's a bone just underneath there, which is called the fibula. It runs parallel to the tibia, the main weight-bearing bone in the lower leg. And along that, from the condyle of the tibia, just up there, originates a muscle called Fibularis Longus. Now that muscle is roughly like that in shape, and it often creates these divisions on the body. You can see that furrow there, that's created by it. Towards the bottom part of this muscle, it becomes a tendon that tucks behind the condyle, and then is tucked underneath the foot. And that's light shape there. That's that tendon that we just talked about. Behind it, at the back of the lower leg, we have a couple of muscles. They called the gastrocnemius group. It's divided into two parts. It's the lateral and the medial head, and they both originate at the back of the femur bone of the upper leg. So that's this bit here. It comes from about there, and these two muscles become a tendon, and that tendon, very famous, is called the Achilles tendon, and is inserted in the bony bit of the foot, just down there. And then, as I said, in the front we have the Tibialis Anterior, and also just behind the Fibularis Longus, which runs just there and then curls with the tendon just behind the condyle. We have also the soleus muscle just there, and the soleus itself has the same function as the gastrocnemius group, so we can group them together. In terms of bones, this same leg, if I just draw it quickly. In terms of bones, of course, we have the femur bone coming down there, ending with its very typical condyle there, and underneath that we have tibia, which has a shape like that. It's very schematic what I'm doing here, but that's roughly how it is. And on the lateral side, of course, we have the fibula bone, which is just there and follows this kind of shape and ends just below the tibia on the side. That's this bulge here, that's the ankle bone. There. So that's the bones. Essentially, the knee is of course organically connected to the lower leg. The tibia can be often seen in the front. It's a very good landmark. There we have the condyles, and the muscles. It's very useful to draw these Quantrill lines, because they're very helpful in determining the orientation of the leg, and then we can, in foreshortening, put in the thigh just there, and then maybe the other leg just comes down straight, or might be just kneeling there if you desire to, and then the lower leg goes backwards that way. So this is just a quick sketch to show you how important it is to use the Quantrill lines. They do produce great results in terms of orienting the mass, and then we can decide that maybe this body is turned that way. Again, using the Quantrill lines just gives us that understanding which way the mass is oriented. Alright, so just to quickly recap, there's two bones in the lower leg. It's the tibia and fibula. Tibia is the weight-bearing bone. It's larger in size, and can be tibia can be seen. The front of it can be seen clearly under the skin. In terms of masses, there's two large masses: the anterior external and the posterior group. At the back, we have the large gastrocnemius group, which consists of two muscles, the lateral and the medial head. That's the gastrocnemius. It becomes the Achilles tendon coming downwards. Similar function has the soleus behind it, and on the other side, in the front, we have of course the Tibialis Anterior. That if we look at the foot from the front, so that's where the knee comes down. There's muscles there, and then on the other side we have this bit. So, and then we have the thigh going up like that. So looking at the front, the Tibialis Anterior is a large fleshy mass just there, which becomes a tendon, crosses over the foot and goes underneath. Has a separate function. We will talk about that when we talk about the foot in greater details. And then there's the gastrocnemius in the back. It's a medial head. That's the medial side. That's the lateral side of the foot. Of the lower leg. And then behind the Tibialis Anterior, we have the Fibularis Longus that runs along there, and also we have the extensor digitorum longus, which just comes down and then divides into the four toes, the tendons. So that will be the foot there. So that's about it in very fast, just a little overview of what you can get in the lecture on the lower leg if you go to figuredrawingonline.com and purchase the lecture. Thank you very much, and the next podcast will be on the foot. See you then.